Good evening and welcome to Lehman High School on a historic night here in Sydney, Ohio. High school football, Friday night under the lights at the home of the Lehman Cavaliers. I'm Jeff Henson. Alongside me this evening is Matt Everidge. And as I mentioned, it's a first ever game tonight, Matt, between the Hardin Northern Polar Bears and the Cavaliers. That's one, but plus the first ever night game here at Lehman Catholic High School. They brought in some temporary lights and we're set up ready to play some football. And before we go to that, I'll let you talk a little bit about these two squads. Both come in with even records.
Yeah, they come in even, but in conference, Sydney Lehman does come in with a 2-1 record. They did have a couple come behind wins, winning 28-25 and 26-21 against Perry and Riverdale. And then Hardin Northern, they're coming off a tough loss. They are 1-2 in conference, so this is going to be more important for them in the NWCC to try to get it evened up at 2-2 apiece.
Both teams, as you said, 2-2 on this, 3-3 overall, and both teams chasing the Upper Saddle Valley Rams at 3-0. Before we have our kickoff here, we'll quickly go through our keys of the game tonight, brought to you by Budge Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Salina, where the dealer makes the difference.
All right, for Sydney Lehman, we'll start with them. Lehman today, they're going to be playing with emotion, being the first game here at the school in front of their fans. A lot of fans brought in lawn chairs just to sit in and makeshift bleachers, so that they need to play with emotion since they're at their home field. Also, no turnovers. Don't turn over the ball. Let the offense do what the offense does. Now for Hardin Northern, they want to pressure the quarterback, try to get the balls batted down as much as they can, and they also want ball control. The best way to stop Sydney from scoring is keeping the ball from them, so that's what Hardin Northern Polar Bears are going to be looking to do tonight.
Again, it's Hardin Northern versus the Lehman Catholic Cavaliers. So first ever meeting between these two squads, and you may not be able to tell it right now on the TV, but we have a strong wind blowing from west to east, and that's the direction of the field. So Lehman Catholic here will kick with the wind to their back. So we'll see how that affects each team's passing games. You mentioned pressure on the quarterback. Lehman has thrown 5 interceptions on the season, and see how the wind affects the passing game as we're underway here at Lehman Catholic. Polar Bears with a nice return up the sideline near
33.
So they'll have decent field position to start tonight's action.
It was number 14, Preston Ribley, with the return. He's a senior this year.
So the Polar Bears under head coach Mike Dennis will start quarterback Will Poling. He is number 11. He's a sophomore on the season, 32 of 69 for 279 yards. He has tossed 3 touchdowns and also 5 interceptions. So they will have him at quarterback. And one of their go-to running backs is Wes Slaughter, a senior running back with over 500 yards and 5 touchdowns. And there is Slaughter, number 22. I'm sorry, that's actually Andrew Stump. He's a junior. He's rushed the ball 20 times this season for just 53 yards. So mix up there, or a little change of pace, running Stump instead of Slaughter.
Somewhat of a wildcat formation they're playing at the present moment. You see more and more of that in college ball, and the high school kids seem like they're picking up on it more and more.
Hardin Northern, their offensive line center is Blake Obenar, left guard Colton Garman, right guard Bryce Hipsher, left tackle Trent Pritchard, and right tackle Lance Lease. And there's a quarterback sack.
It'd be Stump running the ball. He's in the wildcat again. Sack behind the line.
Not actually sack, but a tackle for loss there. So good job defensively by the Lehman Catholic Cavaliers.
Well, he would actually get a sack for that because he is playing the position of quarterback.
Oh, gotcha. I missed the.
Stump's still in. Not really sure why Will Poling isn't playing at the present moment.
Well, they're into the wind, so maybe they would like to run it on the ground and try to put the ball in the air, and maybe feel better having a couple guys back there that can run, but they throw it, and a hard hit, incomplete pass.
Ball was passed to number 21, Owen Bain, hit by number 55, Wyatt Long.
Actually, number 5.
Or number 5, Brandon Barhorst.
So that will bring up
4th and forever.
Yes, it's been some negative yards there. And
they started out at 33. They're on the 28 now, so it'd be 4th and 15.
So back doing the kicking duties is Storm Drum. He averages 42 yards in the air. He will punt into the wind. That is caught by the Cavaliers. They will have decent field position.
Ball was picked up by number 20, Dylan Arnold, and returned about 4 yards for a Lehman first down.
Lehman Catholic will, their first series on offense here. They are led by quarterback Stephen Monin, a senior quarterback, wears number 12.
Lehman with the advantage now of having the wind to their back, so we can definitely see the arm come out for their quarterback.
Under center for the Lehman Cavalier offense. At center is Colin Haller. Left guard, Clayton Malone. Right guard, Wyatt Long. Left tackle, Michael Bunker. And right tackle is Seth Sargent, your offensive line, and they quickly go to the ground. Pick up about 4 or 5 yards.
Another thing unique about this field is it does run east to west. It's not something you normally see.
More north and south.
Yeah, more north and south.
Stephen Monin, the ball carrier. Now bring up now 2nd down and 7. So again, a very steady, heavy breeze as Monin will drop back. Pass is complete
to number 20.
Dylan Arnold with the reception. That's good for a first down. So nice pass and catch as that moves the chains. And for Dylan Arnold, his 15th reception on the season. That's his longest reception, and it moves the chains.
Watson Lease with the tackle.
Cavaliers back to work on offense quickly.
Down on the 26-yard line.
Monin takes it. Another handoff. Running up the ball is Jake Earhart. He's a leading ground gainer for the Cavaliers on the season. Coming into tonight's game, 111 carries for just over 500 yards. He also has 5 touchdowns on the season, does Jake Earhart.
Trent Pritchard with the tackle. He is a junior this year.
Cavaliers quickly, they run a fast-paced offense here under head coach Dick Roll in his 10th season.
Quarterback's rolling. Looking for nobody. Deep or short pass out to number 5, Brandon Barhorst.
Barhorst on the season. One that tied for the leading receivers for the Cavaliers. He comes in with 22 catches on the season for 253 yards and also 2 touchdowns does Brandon Barhorst have. So Cavaliers with the wind behind their back now face a 3rd down and 4. You got to think this is definitely 2-down territory if they don't get the line to gain. Monin with the pass, and it will go in for a score.
So Brandon Barhorst with the touchdown.
His 3rd of the season at the 9:12 mark of the first quarter. The Cavaliers in pretty impressive fashion go down the field, and that we'll take another look at that one. Probably from about the 23-yard line. I'm not for sure where the snap took place from. So 23-yard pass and catch. On for the extra point is Ian Smith. He's 6 for 8 this season. The holder will be the quarterback, Stephen Monin, and the long snapper will be number 6, Owen Smith. And the kick is up. And the first touchdown and extra point are recorded by the Cavaliers. We'll take a short break. And when we come back, we'll have more football on NK Telco Sports.
NK Telco Sports, Ohio's leading sports broadcasting company, is dedicated to sports coverage, filming over 120 collegiate and high school sporting events that bring quality content and excellent sportsmanship to the big screen. Team up with us as an NK Telco sponsor and receive many benefits: commercials that will be seen by thousands of viewers, multiple name mentions, live web ads, monthly bill stuffers, and discounted network ad insertion spots. Packages are available for any budget. Contact us today.
Well, good start for the Cavaliers. They take the opening possession, and they march right down the field to cap it off with a quick score. And they start off, Matt, with a very impressive drive, and more importantly, take the lead initially here. And we're going to force the Polar Bears to go into the wind and try to play catch-up.
Yeah, 64-yard drive there for the Cavaliers in all, ending with a 23-yard Brandon Barhorst touchdown and Ian Smith with the extra point.
45th season of football here at Lehman Catholic. 1970 was the first season under Coach Bob Heil as the Cavaliers pursue the returner. Good hole, and he is off to the races.
Ribley with a nice return all the way down to about the 48.
Preston Ribley, a senior. I thought maybe the Cavaliers had him back near their own end zone, and he found a crease down the near sideline here right in front of us. Great starting field position for the Polar Bears. We'll see what's now, if we can figure out their lineup. You know, we didn't see Poling out there as quarterback, so they will take over from the 46.
I would imagine when they flip sides, that's when you'll probably see Poling coming in.
They go out, with number 28, Wes Slaughter.
Well,
28 with the ball.
Poling was quarterback there. He did hand it off, so we finally see Poling here on the second series.
Slaughter goes for 7, maybe 6, so it brings up second down.
Looks like 2nd and 5 from the 41.
Defensive line for the Cavaliers, and Michael Bunker. Nose guard Christopher Shepard. Tackle Clayton Malone, and end Sam Young. Your defensive line for the blue and gold. Another handoff for Slaughter. He just goes straight forward.
That should be close to the first down.
We don't have their sizes or weights on here, but Slaughter, extra solid build, and they use him a lot. They will hand off quite a bit to number 28, and he has performed fairly well for them this year. Again, 102 carries on the season, just over 500 yards, plus 5 scoring touchdowns, rushing touchdowns.
Poling coming in only a sophomore, one of the younger quarterbacks in the league. They stopped number 28, Wes Schlater, for a 2-yard loss.
Slaughter stood up there, and a good job by the defensive front line. This time, no holes, as you mentioned. A good stop, and that'll bring up second down now. There's the clock running. We talked about ball control. Lehman in little time went down the field and scored. Polar Bears of Hardin Northern now will look to consume some clock, take advantage of this good field position. Poling across the middle, almost a one-handed pick.
Can't quite make out the number. Number 2. So that'll be Logan Richard. Almost had the pick. Going to bring up third down and should be 11.
Nice defensive play by Logan Richard. 5'11" sophomore, nearly with a spectacular one-handed grab. More importantly, though, he prevents the reception, and again, down and distance important now for the Polar Bears. Both these teams have had really good history here in the year 2000. Both have made the playoffs numerous times, and right now Lehman Catholic sits at number 9, I believe, in Division 7. And he will lose his footing as Poling, so another loss of yards, and they almost are back where they started to drive.
Yeah, flag came in too. It looks like that's probably going to be in the field of holding. See what the referee says here. Yeah, they're calling hold.
And if it's from the spot of the foul, that goes back 10 yards from the flag, so it could be a major chuck. They will decline it, so they'll take the loss and force a fourth down, and it appears the Polar Bears will punt with such long distance to go, and now with that miscue, they're almost near midfield, and it didn't take long for the Cavaliers to drive the distance they had last time, so they will punt.
Yeah, they'll be kicking into a pretty steady wind here, so don't look for anything too spectacular here coming off the foot of number 1, Storm Drum.
42-yard average. And it bounces and will be down by the Polar Bears. And at the 7:15 mark, Lehman Catholic will come out for their second series on offense. And this is the first meeting, as we mentioned earlier, between these two schools. And we mentioned that both teams have a strong tournament appearance in the 2000s. Lehman has made the playoffs 13 years, and they've made the state finals 4 times. Hardin Northern has been in the playoffs 12 times and actually won the 2004 state title under head coach Pete Bruno. And assisting Pete Bruno then was current assistant coach Mike Dennis. He was a defensive coordinator.
Bryce Hipsher coming over the top, number 54. Nice hit on the quarterback, taking him down. It's going to be a loss of 2.
I talked to his grandfather before the game, got some Hardin Northern information, and it was nice talking to him and get some information from about the Polar Bears. Again, state champs in 2004. They were runner-up in 2002. And with all that said, they actually had to disband football in 2013. There's a long pass down the field, just over the outstretched arms of the would-be receiver.
Jared Rourke.
So that will bring it back. And they could see there, Matt, they used the wind, a real nice spiral, and it carried a long distance.
The quarterback doing a good job there, but it does bring up a 3rd and 12.
To Hardin Northern, as I mentioned, they didn't play a varsity schedule. Or they didn't play Lehman last year. Did not have, there's a good look there. You see the flags blowing west to east. That's the field. That's the direction the field runs. Poling being chased, will flush out of the pocket. He has room to run.
Plenty of open field.
He gains the yard
Continuing
and then some. Nice run, still running. And then an open field tackle, but not until he gets down to the 30-yard line. So again, a heads-up play by Poling, and they didn't let him run much at the beginning of the year so he wouldn't get banged up. Then he got hurt. And they had a good game last week, a breakout game against Riverside. As we'll take another look at the run here by Poling. Let's see where he started from, maybe the 15-yard line.
Yeah,
so
started
do the math.
16. It was 54 yards total.
Good math. Good run by Poling, and he had a good game on the ground last week as a quarterback. He rushed 198 yards on 26 carries, scored 2 touchdowns as they beat previously unbeaten Riverside. Gave them their first loss.
Riverside just finally adjusted. They went to a 4-4 on their defense. That's what Lehman's mainly playing with, and that actually gives you that extra linebacker up there instead of just playing a middle to where you have the numbers for that quarterback.
Dylan Arnold, the ball carrier there, is that new defensive or the 4-down lineman, put a stop there, and it was the Polar Bears. Riverside is who Lehman beat, as I said last week, a big win, come from behind. It was a late fumble that Owen Smith picked up, raced 50 yards, proved to be the winning score, 26-21 over then unbeaten Riverside Pirates. Before that, we have a flag on the play.
That's normally going to be encroachment on the offense.
Encroachment or offsides.
Oh.
So we will repeat 2nd down, move backwards. Let's just go right now. We talk about Riverside, their first loss. Lehman with just 1 loss. Both those teams at 2-1. Also Fort Loramie at 2-1. All 3 of those teams tied for 2nd. They're chasing Upper Sauter Valley, who is 3-0 in league play. And Lehman lost a tough one to Upper Sauter Valley 3 weeks ago by 8, 28-20. So Lehman will need some help if they want to share the NWCC title this year.
It was a nice 7-yard pickup there to get them back into a manageable 3rd down and 8.
Get some of those penalty yards back and then some. And as you said, 3rd down 8 with a win. I'm thinking they're going twice here unless they lose yards. Stephen Monton rolls to his right, under pressure.
Waggle going deep.
Receiver overthrown.
Ball is thrown deep to number 40 for Lehman. That'd be Braden Sherman, just a little bit out of his reach. You're kind of in the position now, though. You do have the wind. If your kicker's decent, they may go for the field goal here. Most teams would opt out to try to go for the 1st down.
Yeah, this would be even with the wind at a high school age. I'm guessing they'll go for it. So 4th down. And
Monton
about,
is
what, 11 yards, 12 yards to go. Yeah, the ball's on Matt the 30. That'd be a 47-yard, or even back there, 33 plus 17. That'd be a
50-yarder.
Yeah, so they will go for it here. 4th and 12, 4th and 13. Rolling to his left. In trouble.
There's a lot of open field if he can outrun the defensive back.
The corner, being pressured, throws up a, caught it, 1st down, penalty flag on the play. Dylan Arnold with the reception, but we'll have to hold everything as there's a marker on the field.
Normally that'll come back to defensive holding, so they may get away with this, or a push-off is the only thing I can think, but it looks like they're bringing them back.
Boy, tough break. Good job by Stephen Monton to keep the play alive. He went from one side of the field, he went north, ended up going south and threw it east. But it'll have to redo it all again. And we'll see now if they still continue to go for it, depending on what the penalty yards is and how far it pushes them back, Matt. you don't want to give the Polar Bears kind of a turnover on downs close to midfield.
Well, by the looks of it, from the flags, they've only moved them back 5 yards.
Ineligible man downfield, I believe, is that. And what you could see is he's rolling to the north. If you think that he's going to run, yeah, so there's a couple penalties down. But I can understand the ineligible downfield when you think he's scrambling. You start blocking downfield as a lineman, and then the change of decision results pushing the ball back to the 42-yard line.
This is where you'll probably see the punter come in. I would think they would play a field position game at this point. I'd look for a pooch punt here.
We'll have the wind at his back.
That's punted by number 5, Brandon Barhorst. Fair caught on the 14-yard line by number 14, Preston Ridley.
So again, the third possession. This time, though, somewhat deep in their own territory. They had a real nice starting position last drive, Matt, after a nice run back. But this time they're going to be down near their own end zone. And we'll see what type of offense the Polar Bears can bring against the Cavaliers' defense.
Polar Bears need to just start on the basics at this point. Just get that first down, get things rolling. They do have their quarterback back in again, so Will Poling is in. Ball snap. 22 at the ball, straight up the middle for 4. So it'll take us to 2nd and 6.
Andrew Stump, the ball carrier, the junior running back. Not a lot of carries coming into tonight's game, but he's already picked up at least 2 or 3 here early in this contest. Not a bad first down pickup. Second and what, 7 maybe, Matt? 2nd and 6.
Well, with the amount of wind we have here, it pretty much makes you one-dimensional when you're going in this direction. So running is the key focus. It's going to make it easier on the defenses considering which way you're going. And I say that, and here they pass the ball. Nice jailbreak screen there.
Nice pass and catch. First down over the 33-yard line.
I believe that was number 1, Storm Drum, the punter.
He's also the senior wide receiver, leads the team in receptions with 10 catches on the season. Make that 11 now. He does have 1 touchdown. So he came in averaging 11 yards, and that's probably about what he got. More importantly for the Polar Bears under Coach Mike Dennis, a first down.
And that's a nice confidence booster for your quarterback, just getting that first reception in there for a gain. Ball right up the middle by number 22 for 7.
Stump has been very productive here. Good pickup on first down. And maybe now you see a little bit of confidence by those Polar Bears, and they need a drive, not only to consume some clock, but more importantly, the goal for the Polar Bears is to get some points on the board. But if they can consume some clock, keep the Lehman Catholic offense off, that would be one achievement. There's a quick whistle.
It's not to their benefit. The clock hasn't been moving on these runs. They've stopped them for some reason. They started this drive out. There was 4:40 left in the half. They've ran 3 plays, and they've only ran off a total of 50 seconds.
Well, I believe they're looking at that right now, so I'm sure they'll get it squared away. And the only time it would stop is to move the chains, but it does restart after the chains are set. So we'll take a listen here and find out what the official time is.
We're looking at 2nd and 3 right now from approximately the 44, from what I could tell.
Again, this is the first game here. When I heard that they were playing this game here at Bob Heil Field, as you see the standing room crowd down on the field, they mentioned bringing in portable lighting. They brought in maybe the fixtures, but the poles are permanent. They put them in the ground about 2 weeks ago, 4 posts and light fixtures up on top. And normally they play their home games at Sydney Stadium, which just got new field surface, turf put down. And athletic director and head football coach Mr. Roll, Dick Roll, mentioned that this is not going to be probably an ongoing thing. As the city people put a lot of money in that stadium, but just for the one time, the 45th anniversary, thought it was actually brought up, I believe, by a parent to do this. And at first they kind of shrugged off the idea. Bill Bosway brought up the idea. And they thought about it and said, let's try it. And here we are. It's a 4-day event. They had a bonfire last night. They've got the football game tonight where alumni have come back. There's activities tomorrow, as there's going to be a penalty on the Cavaliers. They've got volleyball and a JV football game, I believe, tomorrow, and then activities also on Sunday, just welcoming and encouraging a former alumni to come back to
I know they have
Lehman
a
High School.
specialty trailer over here by Airstream, too, that tells quite a bit about the school history and everything about Lehman. Off that penalty, they did pick up 5, and that is a first down, so it'd be 1st and 10 now for the Polar Bears at the 46.
2 first downs in this drive, one by penalty as there's a loose ball. Poling had to go through his hands, does not come up with it, but looks like Storm Drum comes up with it. Tough break for the Polar Bears, Matt. Just when you mentioned the 2 first downs, maybe a little anxious and couldn't come up with the ball, and they lost major yardage, but they still have possession.
Yeah, that is a loss of about, they're down to the 32. They was at the 41, so that's a 9-yard loss. So we're looking at 2nd down and 19. More so, you lost that down. So,
yes.
I mean, that's painful, especially going into the wind.
Pulling this time with a good grasp. Ball will be ruled incomplete. Nice job by the Lehman defense.
Tried to go to that jailbreak screen again, and it just wasn't there this time.
Storm Drum had it momentarily. Will hit the ground. That will stop the clock with 2 minutes, 6 seconds left.
We apologize. The time clock is jumping right now to 8 minutes. That's indicative of all the winds coming in right now.
There's a strong breeze, and also we want to let you know our main camera tonight, not this shot, but the one from up top is right there. Is from Daniel Allen. He is up in our bucket truck tonight in a basket.
In a very uncomfortable position at this present moment.
I'm just surprised it stayed so steady. You figure the bucket would move some, and with the wind up there, he's doing a nice job. Speaking of doing a nice job, the Lehman defensive line gets in there. We'll try to pick up who recorded the
It'd
sack.
be number 54. Over here on the Lehman side would be Christopher Shepard. Shepard's one of the 2. There's Daniel up in the bucket truck now.
Come on, wave, Daniel. There we go.
To wave, and there he is.
Thank you, Daniel.
By far the coldest man at the field right now.
Yeah, he is up where the winds are a little bit more violent than they are down here. You can see over on the sidelines the pennants again blowing from the west to the east as the Polar Bears will punt. They're going to go straight into the wind. That ball is going to be hung up and bounce 44-yard line. You could see that ball really just hit the wall of the wind and down it inside Hardin Northern Territory. So a great opportunity, Matt, for the Lehman Catholic Cavaliers.
Lehman's got a chance here with 1:18 left in this opening quarter with the wind, so they could take advantage of this. It's only 44 yards. Again, right now, one of the big games in the area today is St. Mary's versus Salina. St. Mary's is losing that Lake River rivalry for 14-0 at the end of one.
Strong run and busting through for about 16, 17 yards.
Number 14. So Preston Ribley with a nice run. That was not 14. Was it 24? So it'd be Titan corner.
I'm not for sure who the number was. I couldn't tell. There's a penalty. So sorry about that, as there's a stoppage of play here. Penalty, false start called against the Lehman Catholic Cavaliers. You talk about big games with the St. Mary's Salina battle. There's a big game in the Midwest Athletic Conference this evening at Coldwater tonight. Marion local Flyers and the Coldwater Cavaliers, they battled out. Their schools are in different divisions, but still they're playing for the MAC lead as we're under a minute to go. And of course, this Northwest Central Conference game tonight, Lehman needs to win to stay in the hunt to chase the Upper Saddle Valley Rams. Nice footwork. Brandon Barhorst. Good footwork all the way down to the 3-yard line, maybe the 5, I guess, the 5-yard line. Nice pass and catch. Good run by number 5, Brandon Barhorst.
Just a quick pass out to the far left, and here they are. 36 seconds left in the first quarter, trying to get that second score.
And here, with it being so close, the wind won't make much of a difference, even if they don't score before they have to walk to the other end of the field.
So I'd look for a quarterback draw here. You do have the numbers on the defense again.
They'll read option and right into the heart of the Polar Bear. Number 55, Blake Obenar with the stuff. And there's our last.
Here's our Sydney Body Car Star replay going down the far left sideline all the way down. I thought he made it to the 3, but they called him out on the 5.
Went from the 35 down to the 5.
30-yard gain.
How much?
30 yards.
More than 30.
35 to the 5 would be 30.
35 on that side, across midfield.
Well, actually, this started at the 44.
Oh, you're right.
And that's a touchdown, ran straight in. Can't make out the number 12. So quarterback Stephen Monin with the
rushing touchdown. He's been running the ball very well for the Cavaliers, and that's the last play of the first quarter. But they will kick the extra point here. And you're right, Matt. The pass, 35. You're right, 30-yard pass down to the 5 and a run-in for touchdown. Stephen Monin.
They will still do the extra point before they go ahead and go to the sides.
His third rushing touchdown. Ian Smith will look to go 2 for 2 tonight. Left-footed kicker. And he does just that. That's the end of the first quarter. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll have second quarter action here on NK Telco Sports. But before we do that, we'll take one more look at the touchdown drive.
Monin with the option, just cut right up the middle in between the O and the O hole.
7-yard touchdown, scores it for the Cavs. We'll take a break, come back with more football on NK Telco Sports.
If you want to save 70% on your heating, cooling, and hot water costs, the answer is right under your feet. Let New Knoxville Supply install a water furnace geothermal system and use the natural temperature from the earth for a more constant temperature in your home. Also ask about our new Symphony Home Management System. Control temperatures, track energy usage, and receive safety alerts for everything, including your sump pump. All from anywhere, anytime. Now is the time to calculate your savings at newknoxvillesupply.com.
At Minster Bank, we understand that life can get hectic. That's why when it comes to your banking, we offer the services that make your life simpler with tools like person-to-person payments, Pop Money, mobile and online banking, and bill pay. But most of all, Minster Bank is a supportive member of your community with personal relationships and customer service that reach outside of our branches. Minster Bank, helping people achieve financial success.
Second quarter action set to start. Ethan Smith will tee it up following the Stephen Monin touchdown run. We switch ends of the field, so this one will be driven into the wind. Hardin Northern this time will have the wind at their back. First look for good field position out across the 30, close to the 35.
So Lease with a nice return.
And they will start their possession here. Picked up a couple first downs, Matt, in their last possessions, and then had the fumbled snap, lost some yards there, and never really could bounce back, but did get some continuity going before that fumble, so we'll see if the Polar Bears can get something put together here.
Well, they finally got the wind at their back, so this is going to be better for their quarterback, and it's going to make them more two-dimensional than what they was before. So we'll see what they do with that. But they're still coming out in the.
Well, they run it up the middle. I believe it's Slaughter, number 28. And two guys in the backfield, both Stump and Slaughter, and it is Slaughter. And I'm pretty sure they like to feed him the action, let him run downhill.
I'm saying both teams do a good job of spreading the defense out across the field. You see receivers on each side, so the defense can't key in the middle as much as they'd like to.
Polar Bears line back up. This time off a couple tackles, falls forward for just a couple, bring up 3rd down and 3 as that is again Slaughter, number 28, Wes Slaughter, senior, has 5 rushing touchdowns on the season.
If you watch Hardin Northern, they're doing a lot of counter action in the backfield. The backs are crossing, trying to give some misdirection back there. Defensive line, the front 4 for both teams, very large defensive lines. They plug up the middle well.
Blake Obenar with the snapback contact beyond the line of scrimmage, and they will hold him up at the line of scrimmage. Good pursuit by the Cavaliers.
It's going to be a tackle by number 28, or 5 and 2. So that'd be Richard and Barhorse with the tackle.
Against Slaughter, as they really gave him nowhere to go, so it'll be another down and distance play here for the Polar Bears. 4th down, with the wind at the back, trailing by 2 scores. They'll line up. We'll see they will punt. Strong wind behind their back. See what they can pin down the Cavaliers.
That's recovered by number 20, Arnold.
Nice block.
Still going to the outside.
Some hard hitting going on out there. And
tackled by number 22, Andrew Stump.
the Cavaliers will take over. They will again be the first possession now into the wind. We'll see how that affects their offense, as they like to get it and go. Coach Dick Ruhl in his 10th season. Richard Ruhl, the head coach, also the athletic director. He's assisted by Tom France, Dwayne Rowley, Ed McFarland, Jeff Sandeau, Kent Witt, Bill Zimmerman, Dan Jacob, and Matt Sargent, his assistant coaches.
It's going to be second down now and 10 from the 32. This one just starting. The Polar Bears really need to get a stop here to stop the momentum and get something to switch.
Keep field position. You don't want to allow the Cavaliers to gain distance, because with the punt, you think it wouldn't go very far. But, boy, if you get them 3 and out here, you're going to have pretty good field position. If you give the Cavaliers first downs, even if they don't score, they're going to be pinning you back deep in your own territory. They'll drop back and pass into the wind. Open receiver, Dylan Arnold.
That'd be a first down
Sherman
to the 42.
Take it back. That's Braden Sherman, his 7th catch on the season. Number 40, Braden Sherman, getting into the action. 6-foot sophomore. First down. The Cavs move the chains near midfield, about the 41-yard line.
Ridley with the tackle there. Now it's 1st and 10 from the 42. 9:18 left in the second half.
Arnold
Doing a
around the
sweep.
left side. He was down. I'm pretty sure they'll rule him down. Looked like he hit the ground after a nice run across midfield down to the 45-yard line. Dylan Arnold.
Cavaliers looking to try to cap off a 68-yard drive here.
So another look at here. Good speed to the outside. Good blocking downfield. If you see that, at about the 45, allowed him to get down, and you can see they're down by contact, and it remains with the Cavaliers. Good drive, first down into the Polar Bear territory. Monin down to the 40. Again, Monin they didn't run him a lot at the beginning of the season, didn't want him to get banged up. Then I believe he got banged up and came back last week against Riverside and really had a phenomenal game. They kind of let him cut loose. And
Well, I don't know if we have a replay on that, but that whole gain right there was made by number 40, Sherman. He had a
Good block.
nice blindside block just to open the quarterback up enough to get out there to get that
good eyes
gain.
there, Matt. You know, we often think about the ball carrier, but it's often the teammates in front of him that blow open the holes.
And that is up the middle and gone.
Long touchdown.
So that'd be number 34, Jacob Earhart. I'm sorry.
Earhart. Quick score, and the Cavaliers go up by 3 scores as they answer again. And Earhart with a long run, and he scores his 6th touchdown of the season on the ground.
We'll do a replay right after this kick. Coming in to kick the ball again is going to be Ian Smith, looking to go 3 for 3 here tonight. He'll be kicking into the wind this time, make it a little bit more difficult. Being a left-handed kicker, though, left-footed kicker, I should say, that has to be kind of difficult for the person receiving the ball.
Different spin. Arms go up, touchdown. We'll take another look at the long touchdown run by Earhart from the 40-yard line. So right on the line, 40 yards. Up the middle, virtually untouched. So good speed by Earhart. And
68 yards. Total of 68 yards on that drive.
Another 68-yard drive. I think you mentioned their other drive was in the 60s.
Yeah, the other one was 63 yards to Brandon Barhorst, and then the 44-yard drive for Monin to score.
Well, I have a moment here. I'd like to just run down a couple of our sponsors, I should say, for tonight's game. They are NK Telco, New Knoxville Supply, Minster Bank, Minster Dental, Sweeterman Pharmacy, Francis Furniture, 4U Office Supplies, Wagner's IGA, our scoreboard sponsor. As always, First National Bank, think first. I'd like to thank those fine sponsors that allow us to bring you this. And tonight it's Northwest Central Conference football, the Hardin Northern Polar Bears versus the Lehman Catholic Cavaliers. And again, history tonight, the first game ever played here at Lehman. School opened, I believe, in 1970. We're in the 45th season of football. And the first time they've played game under the lights here, or any varsity game. I was told the JVs have maybe played games on this field, but first varsity game under the lights.
Again, a nice return by number 14, Preston Ribley, going to get the ball about out to the 28. That's a respectable return. Good kick by the kicker, kicking into it.
Yes,
did a
drove
good
it down
job.
the field fairly nice, and now it's up to the Polar Bears. Again, they're going to have to get some consecutive first downs here to keep the ball in the hands of themselves and not let the Cavs get it. They've been very explosive, and Polar Bears a tough task here. Under 8 minutes to go until halftime.
Yeah, they're in danger of getting close to that 30-point rule where they just continually run the clock, and almost fumbled.
Slaughter able to hang on to it, and you're right, that could have been disaster. I think he sensed there was a trio of tacklers coming at him, and fortunately for the Polar Bears, he was able to get possession and basically just take the loss instead of losing possession in the meantime.
Yeah, he did a good job for his team there just to protect the ball, and he still gained a couple yards. We're going to have a replay here.
Looked up just a bit, and really, boy, Lehman really read that play well. They were in the backfield almost as he caught it, so good job by the Lehman Cavaliers.
Cavs still playing in that 4-4, and they actually have a monster back sneaking up now from the backfield.
It looks like they send him, and they pick it up well. Pass cross field. Hello. It's probably incomplete as bang action. Logan Lease, the intended receiver.
And Dylan Arnold with a nice hit as soon as the ball got there.
Good
that was
timing.
an impact.
Take another look at it. Watch the top of your screen on the left. Arnold smokes in there. Legal play, good tackling. Good heads-up tackle, shoulders driven, driving the receiver down to the ground.
Well, just like all the other conferences around here in West Central Ohio, these teams, they're hard-hitting. Every team's got a good history. There's not too many teams around here that you've not heard of. And that's the good thing about this. And here in Sydney, we got two teams that are both having decent seasons. I know the Yellow Jackets here in town, I believe they're 5-1 at the present moment. Only loss was to St. Mary's in the early season. Another team that's looking to do a lot of damage this year in the playoffs.
Penalty against the Polar Bears, moves it back. So they're making it a little bit tough on themselves now as they will have a long way to go for the first down. They will throw with the wind. It is incomplete. So that'll stop the clock with 6:58, just under 7 minutes left here in the first half. Lehman Catholic up by 3 touchdowns, 21-0 as a punt team for the Polar Bears goes out. So good job by the defensive unit of the Cavs.
I imagine they're at the point in the field, too, where Lehman will actually go for a block on this one. Just that way they don't have so much wind to deal with coming back down the field. Back deep to them for them to receive is number 20, Dylan Arnold.
Good snap. And then with the wind behind him, Arnold will run up near the 37. On the run, makes a nice return down the sideline and pushed out of bounds. Nice run for Arnold. As you see in the background there, the portable bleachers that were also brought in for this event. I think they mentioned enough bleachers to seat 1,000 people, but those are pretty full, and there's a lot of people standing around the sides as well. So nice little
23-yard return, 37-yard line is where he caught it. Looks like there may be a penalty on this because they look like they're coming back this way.
Unless they called a holding.
I believe there was a block in the back is what they called on the first contact there.
So that would negate the nice return. And they'll push it back to the 40 of Lehman Catholic.
That's a loss of 20. That's a whole lot of loss in a football game. So Lehman sets up again.
Under the lights, the homecoming theme this evening is homecoming weekend. Celebrating a lot of history here. And there's another whistle. Before the game, they had a parade of sorts around the football stadium with Corvettes carrying past queens and kings, and I will get the name at halftime of the queen. We know the king is Stephen Monin, but we will get that information and share that with you.
Earhart with an illegal motion. 5-yard penalty takes it back. 1st and 15 now from 35.
Also being honored tonight was Pamela Johnson. She was the first queen here at Lehman, 1971. And then the first king was Matt Grover, who graduated in 99. They were honored as there's a nice pass and catch across midfield and into Hardin Northern Territory. Nice reception there by Brandon Barhorst.
That'll go for 20 yards for a first down. We're going to do a replay on it here. Just finds a nice soft spot on a drag play, picks it up,
That was
goes
a nice
another
catch.
20 yards.
Kind of in between two defenders, and good pass, good catch, good play. First down, Lehman Catholic on the drive.
And that's the perfect example of setting up the pass with the run. They've done so many run plays. Fumble on the ground that's going to be picked up by number 50, Colton Garman. He'll be down to the 34-yard line.
Keys of the game, you talked about it, turnovers. Just when you are about ready to really put the hammer down, you have a miscue, and you give the Polar Bears a little bit of life. They've good hands there, knocking it out, more importantly, recovering it. And then this is just bonus information right here, and they do have good field position. 35-yard line. We'll have to make sure the Polar Bears can capitalize. They had a good field position in the first quarter, Matt. Remember, they got down under a nice kickoff, really couldn't take advantage of it. And a couple of flags down. We have about 3 of them on the ground. A lot of laundry on the field. So motion will move the Polar Bears back. Tough way to start after a good positive play on your defensive unit. Come out and you move your offense back 5 more yards.
Yeah, the Bears have been the Polar Bears have been their own worst enemy in this game so far. Just small mistakes have stopped everything for them from progressing towards the goal line. One back set, going to be a pass.
An open class, Storm Drum with the reception all the way down to the 21-yard line.
Tackled again by number 20 and number 5, so Arnold and Barhorst again. We've said Barhorst's name a lot. That means they're getting to the defensive backfield when they're out there. That's a plus for the Polar Bears. They just can't put it all together consecutively.
Now's a good time for the Polar Bears to try to do that, as there's nice protection for pulling to find the open receiver. Storm Drum, and senior leading the team this season with reception, adds to that and has his team now down near the red zone. Has still plenty of time. We're nearly half a quarter left, or over half a quarter left. There's another penalty, so the Polar Bears will back up.
It'll be movement by number 62, so that'll be Lance Lease. Again, taking them back 5, so they just picked up 15 and they give 5 right back.
They were able to overcome their last mistake, and pressure's going to go back on that offense to make the play again. Blake Obenar, the center. He's surrounded by Colton Garman and Bryce Hipsher, and then the tackles are Pritchard and Lease. They'll try to protect fully, or pulling here and give him some room, or the runner there. They try to maybe mix it up a bit. Maybe Lehman thinking pass. They run it off with Slaughter. Short gain. Good job by the Lehman Catholic defense not to get fooled or guess wrong.
That's going to take us to 2nd and 12. Still on the 24-yard line.
Bringing the play in is Andrew Stump. Pulling will relay it to his team. Again, Pulling is a sophomore.
The playbook definitely gets smaller the closer you get to the red zone, and they are knocking on its door now.
Pulling with time. That ball deflected. Not for sure of who that was. I see the number, can't quite pick up the number. Good hands on the defensive line, or maybe it was a defensive. So they're able to force the pass to the ground. And
well, the good thing is it's only 3rd and 12. You're in 2-down territory now. You're down by 21. You don't go for the 3 points here. So just pick up 6, make half of it, and then go for it in something manageable on 4th down.
Pulling in the backfield. Fires like he has someone open. He does. There's contact. It's knocked down.
And there's
a penalty. It looked like, from my viewpoint, I saw some contact. Both players looked like trying to make a play on the ball.
So the penalty is going to be called on Dylan Arnold. Ball thrown to Storm Drum, so that'll be a 10-yard penalty, as imagine what they'll walk off, because they'll do half the distance.
I think in this case it's
Yeah,
15.
they're
It's
getting
outside.
15.
It's outside the 20, so it's a full length.
Okay.
So big break there as the Polar Bears advance it now inside the red zone, and that time again Poling had time to throw, and it looked like you could just see as we were watching him, he looked like, you know, when you have someone open, it's like it's just a confident toss, and he had a receiver drum in the area. So give credit to the offensive line holding out the Cavaliers and giving Poling time to look downfield. The penalty gives it to the Polar Bears now inside the 15.
Ball handed off to number 22,
around
Stump.
the corner. Did he step out? No, he stepped out of bounds about the 3-yard line. Stump, nice run around the left side. But the Polar Bears here, a golden opportunity to tighten up here, take another look at it. Nice block out here by the wide receiver to slow up the defender, and he stepped on the chalk. Just missing a touchdown there for Stump.
Line judge there in a good position. The only thing I don't like about the offensive set right now, though, is they're backing up 5 yards. Everything's from the shotgun. So you're already giving up 5 yards and you're inside the 5. So you're basically starting your play at the 9. Just makes it harder.
They crash forward and they score. 5-yard touchdown run. Number 22, Andrew Stump, his second rushing touchdown. Take that back. It is number 28. That is Wes Slaughter, his 6th touchdown on the ground. Wes Slaughter cashes in, and Polar Bears take advantage of that turnover committed by the Cavaliers, and they are an extra point away from making it a 2-touchdown score or difference.
So that's a 34-yard drive for the Polar Bears, what they needed right before halftime, get some momentum back.
Storm Drum, the kicker, the holder is Poling. The long snapper is Obenar, and the PAT.
So Drum with the extra point. So Slaughter with the nice 3-yard run. Drum with the extra point takes it 21-7.
21-6.
Oh, he missed the extra point. I'm sorry, I missed that.
So there you take a look right there. Coach Mike Dennis and his Polar Bears. Quick reminder, I mentioned they did not have football one season. They did not have field a team in 2013. They're back working their way up to build up the program. They won state in 2004 with 28 kids on the roster. I believe they've got 27 kids on the roster this year. But still, you need the size and strength. And they're being competitive this year. They've won their first 2 games they won were against Bealsville and Fairfield Christian. Then they lost to Oberlin and then defeated Waynesfield Goshen, and then back-to-back close losses against Fort Loramie and Ridgemont. So the Polar Bears, 2004 state champ, runners-up in 2002. Both those teams under head coach Pete Bruno. And as I mentioned before, they were on that staff, coaching staff, as current head coach Mike Dennis. He was the defensive coordinator. And you look at Lehman Catholic, also 13 playoff appearances. I think they're all in the year since 2000. So they've had a strong tradition. They've actually won a few of their playoff games, but have not been able to make it to state.
Hardin Northern doing exactly what they needed to do. The ball was picked up at the 5, only returned to the 20. They still have all 3 timeouts. If they can stop them here, get the ball back, they have a chance of swinging this to possibly get up to, only down by 7 by half. The problem is stopping what's in front of you.
That sounds great. That's got to get it done. It's easy for us to hear. Everyone knows the objective, and that's for the defense to stop the offense and vice versa. But
Lehman showed that they, with the pass or with the run, they're effective both ways.
Bob Heil Field, named after the first ever head coach here, the late Bob Heil. Quick pass to the left side. And good yards, about a gain of 8 maybe. I'm not sure where they marked him out. They keep the clock running, so he did not get out of bounds. And looks like Matt maybe around the
37.
37.
It'll be 2nd and 3.
Okay, so he ran a kickoff back to
the 30.
Okay.
You can't really make up. Or no, it's 27. That is 10-20.
Matt and I are located on the field level, if you will. There's a good run Nice for a first down, and out of bounds in front of the Hardin Northern Polar Bear bench is Monin.
That's been open for him all game long. They just don't have anybody shadowing the quarterback, and they've given up a couple long runs, 154 yards in the first half.
He's also bought himself some time in that scrambling mode, so elusive is Stephen Monin. Tough to bring down, has some speed, plus can throw the ball as well with 7 touchdowns. Does have the 10 interceptions. Quick handoff, and he keeps it. Another strong gain of 12 yards, and he's hit near and out of bounds, and that will be another first down.
Surprised they didn't have a flag there.
Close.
He was out of bounds by a couple steps. He's still back behind the Hardin Northern players.
There he comes. It was contact contained. It was just that last maybe push seemed a little excessive, but
frustrations can build. It is high school football. That does happen.
It happens on Sundays. So
oh yeah. So
it's common, as you got to be able to control your emotion. As sometimes a bonehead play can really hurt your team on just losing your mind on the personal fouls. Good time here. Monin into the wind. Down, has an open receiver.
and
Caught.
Came in bounds.
Number 5.
So that's down to the 24-yard line. That'll be a 24-yard gain.
Brandon Barhorst, the receiver.
Deep pass.
Again, Monin buy himself some time, and as you mentioned, Barhorst with the nice reception. And you opened up this drive saying, Matt, how it would be important for the Polar Bears defensively to get a stop for the Cavs, force them to punt into the wind, and use your timeouts and go the other direction. Cavaliers are down here knocking on the door, and they're going to be knocking in. They're going to be opening the door and going into the end zone here.
I don't know if we got a replay on that, but number 70 for the Cavaliers, that'd be Michael Bunker. He absolutely opened that hole wide for the player to come right on his backside here.
Well, here's Earhart from the 25, so another.
And right there, he opened up the hole and shot right through the middle.
Jake Earhart, 25-yard run for a score right around 25 yards. And Lehman Catholic responds with a mission that drive, really answering the Polar Bears touchdown. Smith. And there's a flag before everything happens here. And it will go against Lehman Catholic. That'll make this PAT a little bit more exciting, as it will go back 5 yards. Smith will look to go 4 for 4 tonight.
Earhart was 64 yards just on his 2 touchdown runs. So, I mean, he's getting close to the 100-yard mark now, and wait for this extra point to come by Ian Smith.
Is number 6, Owen Smith. Owen Smith, and the kicker,
Ian Smith.
Watch for the official. I see the arms go up, and that's the 28th point. We'll take a quick timeout and come back with more high school football on NK Telco Sports.
You owe it to yourself twice a year a checkup at Minster Dental Care. Our specialized doctors, Jim Overman, Jim Myring, Sean Sharp, and Philip Slunkowski, are ready to give you the smile you've always dreamed of at any stage of your life. Pediatric, orthodontic, restorative, and cosmetic dentistry are just a few of the services offered. Our latest advancements include CEREC dentistry that allows us to create and deliver a crown in one convenient visit. We're located on State Route 66 in Minster, 419-628-3380 to schedule your appointment today. You owe it to yourself.
The Cavaliers respond, Matt, with a very nice drive to kind of deflate, if you will, the Polar Bears, who gain some life, force a fumble, take the fumble. A few plays later, get their first touchdown of the game. And does it say 28-7 now?
It says 28-7. It should be 28-6.
Well, I don't know. I couldn't tell if the extra point the Polar Bears got it. I never saw the signal from our viewpoint. But anyhow, after Polar Bears get some new life, they get a decent, kickoff. Boy, Lehman Catholic almost kind of, let's say, woke up again and said, hey, we're going to drive this down the field. And they did just that, and didn't take long. And
it actually took 1 minute and 9 seconds with an Earhart 24-yard run, total of an 80-yard drive.
Back to a 3-touchdown lead, and Polar Bears again will be pushed out of bounds just across the 30-yard line as a host of Cavaliers forced the ball returner out of bounds.
Negates the 50-yard kick by the kicker there. Kicked all the way down to the 15, returned out to the 32, or it looks like it'd be the 30, no, 32.
Richard Roll, the head coach of the Cavaliers. Mike Dennis on the other side for the Polar Bears. First ever meeting between these two schools.
The last thing they want to do is a 3-and-out here. They definitely need to get a drive going and at least take that clock away from the Cavaliers. We said earlier in the pregame the best way to stop them is to not have them on the field on offense. Yeah, and that's been the point proven here. They've yet to punt the ball.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, did Lehman punt yet?
Lehman did punt once. They punt once in the first.
And then they forced a turnover last or 2 possessions ago. Polar Bears go to work, and I believe it's Slaughter. He'll lose yards. Good job by the Lehman Cavaliers defense. I believe number 70, Michael Bunker, in there on the stop.
Bunker was the same player on offense that opened up the nice run. So you got players playing both ways here on each team. We got a replay coming up. Oh, X that. We're not going to do the replay.
So the Polar Bears will lose yards, go back to the line of scrimmage. Clock moving, under 3 minutes to go until halftime.
Quarterback back, waiting for the ball. And whistle blown again.
Boy, a number of penalties.
That's going to be movement on number 54 for the Polar Bears. So that'll be Bryce Hipsher. Going to move them back 5.
It's got to be closer to 10 penalties between these two teams this first half. Not all of them have even been accepted. Some have been declined. And you're actually
they brought it back, so that means the lineman forced him to move.
Or the lineman penetrated or broke into that neutral zone. In high school football, you can't dance around. College, NFL, I believe you're allowed to break the neutral zone as long as you don't touch anyone and get back before the snap. High school, you break that neutral zone, it's dead ball, penalty, and Polar Bears needed a break. They get one. Now can they take advantage of it?
Bunker gave up 5 yards there to him. He took away 2, so now it's going to be 2nd down and 8.
They will rehuddle as more whistles going on, and I believe we have a timeout by Lehman Catholic. We'll take one with them. You're watching high school football on NK Telco Sports.
Schwiedemann Pharmacies began serving the people of Auglaize County in 1916 when Urban Schwiedemann purchased the building and business from J.H. Hoffman. The New Bremen location is one of the longest-running pharmacies in the country, with over 110 years of serving its patrons. Since then, 4 more stores have been added: Coldwater, St. Mary's, Minster, and Wapakoneta to round out the group. Our services include prescription refills, home medical equipment, nursing home services, customized compounded medication, vaccinations, and so much more.
Welcome back here to Lehman Catholic High School. I'm Jeff Hench. Alongside me this evening is Matt Everidge, and we're pleased to be here tonight on this special occasion again. The first ever game played at Lehman High School under the lights. Portable bleachers have been brought in, and a nice little event here that Lehman has done to bring back their alumni this homecoming weekend. And right now their football team sporting a 28-7 lead against league opponent Hardin Northern. Both teams 3-3 overall. This is week number 7 of high school football. It's hard to believe we'll be nearing the end of the season here shortly. Just a 10-week season, so this is week number 7. As there's pressure and pursuit and a sack as pulling number 11. That time no protection at all, Matt, as the Cavaliers busted through the front line and wreaked havoc on Poling.
Yeah, he was tackled for a loss from what I can see. Can't quite make out anything. Being at ground level, it's making it a little difficult to see the yard markers or anything else for that. Looks like they're still down to the 32. So this will be 3rd and 10.
So Lehman defense can come up big here, try to get a stop here, get the ball back and give it to their offense. They've been very efficient, barring just the one mistake on offense. There's a long pass, intercepted at the 45.
Number 4. It'll be Jared Rourke, still going down the sideline.
Rourke will be thrown to the ground at the 20-yard line. So a nice return by Rourke.
Tackle by number 14, Preston Ribley.
with the wind behind their back, the Polar Bears go deep. And stepping in, though, to make the interception are the Polar Bears. Take another look at it here as Jared Rourke right there. Good camera work from the 45. And even after the interception, nice return by Rourke down to the 20.
35-yard return on the interception.
Quickly on offense now, looking, thought they were going to the end zone. That one incomplete. As number 1, Ethan
New,
the intended receiver. So the clock stops, 1:42. Lehman with 2 timeouts.
and actually got him spotted at the 22-yard line. Looking to try to score for the 5th time here in this opening half.
Monin will look again, be in pursuit. He will buy some time, tuck and run, and get down near a first down.
Depending on where they spot it, I believe they're spotting it at the 14, so it'll be 3rd and 2 from the 14-yard line.
The tackler, but again, 2 down territory, Matt. I'm guessing the Cavaliers are going to go full tilt as there's a first down. Good run by Monin as he continues to rack up yards on the ground.
See a lot of the northern players with their hands on their hips. They're playing a lot of players both ways as well.
Monin will keep it, go around the left side. Did not fool a lot of Polar Bears, but good elusive footwork into the end zone, goes pulling. Or I'm sorry, Stephen Monin. Didn't look like he was going to get much out of that, Matt, around the left side, but number 12 scampers in for the touchdown.
Yeah, Monin with a 12-yard run. He also scored on a 5-yard run in the first quarter.
So
open it up.
Number 12 goes for 12, and he will be the holder as Ian Smith will, again, continue to strive for perfection here. He had 6 point-after touchdowns made coming in. This will be his 5th if he converts here. The arms go up, the score is good. Take another look at the 12-yard run by quarterback Stephen Monin. Right about here, Matt, I was thinking there's 3 Polar Bears, but just a quick change of directions and just running through the opening and touch, but not before he gets in for the score. So
the downfield blocking for Lehman, they just don't give up on the plays. I mean, even the receivers, I've not seen receivers blocking like this, like this team does.
Pretty sure they know that Monin has the ability, so their quarterback becomes a threat when he breaks the pocket. And their job is, hey, keep working because your quarterback's trying to make a play and has done so nicely here in the past couple weeks. Got a monster game last Friday night with nearly 200 yards of rushing. Cavaliers, 2 come from behind wins, back-to-back style, or back-to-back weeks. So they've built some energy, and one of the things Coach Roll mentioned, they rose to the occasion against the undefeated Riverside Pirates. They played with emotion, they played with urgency, and we're seeing a lot of that tonight. And what better, if you can't get fired up tonight, what's missing, because this is a special occasion for these young men, once, in a long time event that they may ever play a game here, at least the first time, and you're a part of it. So it's your show. A lot of people coming out, coming home, coming back. And we have the alumni. I think the people playing in the alumni bands are a lot of people, not just the football players, but people coming back here. So during the bonfire, they honored former coaches. They honored Chuck Asher and also Dave McFeely. As I mentioned earlier, the son of the late Bob Heil, who was the first coach, was also honored last night at the bonfire. And this is the 45th season of Lehman Catholic football. The school merged in 70, or became Lehman. Basically, I believe, if I understand this right, from Holy Angels and also Piqua Catholic, those 2 high school schools merging together. And hence we're standing here now with Lehman in year 45 of their existence, as the original kick went out of bounds. Polar Bears will force him to kick into the wind again. And who knows, maybe he'll shank it again. They're looking for field position with just 1:16 left. That one bounces up. At least they can get a nice catch. So far, a nice return, both hands on the ball, out to the 45.
34-yard return.
Preston Ribley, number 14, doing his best to give his team at least a chance here with just over a minute to go. See once with the wind to the back what the Polar Bears can do. Last possession was an interception by Jacob Rourke.
I think Mike Dennis is just going to keep it on the ground. I wouldn't look for him to pass at this point. Just get to halftime. You don't want to be behind by 30, so no mistakes. That way the clock don't continually run on you, and you still got a chance to come back because they will receive the ball in the second half.
Slaughter the ball carrier.
And Lehman received.
Boy, you can sneak one through, though, and get a score here and then get the ball back. That's 2 quick scores before you even let the Cavaliers get their hands on it. But right now, 40 seconds of running. They keep it on the ground.
There was a counter by number 21, Owen Bame.
Owen Bame, twin brother to Nicholas Bame.
It's going to be a first down, stop the clock at the 45.
Yeah, so 2 nice things. And he went out of bounds, so they've got time now.
Oh, they're starting the clock.
I thought he got out of bounds. Maybe it was just a first down, so they'll have to hustle up. Clock running. Polar Bears with the 3 timeouts. Poling looking deep. Overthrown. His intended receiver, Storm Drum. That'll stop the clock with just under 21 seconds and bring up second down. But the Polar Bears playing aggressive. We've seen them fire the ball downfield. Nothing more than just stretch the field because the defense now has to respect that you have confidence. You can throw the deep ball. Now, they haven't connected on it yet, and they did have 1 intercepted. But, boy, that puts the defense on their heels a little bit. They can't put all 11 up in the box, and, that makes it very difficult then for Slaughter and also Stump to run.
Looked like it was going to be a pass by the running back there.
Well, something out of nothing.
Reverses direction, coming back.
He falls out of bounds. So that's a first down. 10 seconds left. So the 2 timeouts, you're looking at maybe 2 plays for sure. 3 would be pushing it, but what'll be unfortunate now is if the Polar Bears run out of time, this nice drive, some big plays, and to keep the drive alive, that if they run out of time and don't get points.
Well, luckily they got him out of bounds there, so
they have
stop the clock.
3 timeouts, so that would not be an issue as they go to work again on offense. Poling, drops back, being pressured. That one is
caught by Storm Drum.
Down to the 21-yard line, 22. So 5 seconds left.
This is where you got to make a decision. You're going to go for it because it's end zone or nothing at this point.
Take a timeout. We'll take a quick timeout with you as we watch this final replay. Looks like a clean catch. We'll just keep it right here.
Let's do that replay again if we could. I'm pretty sure that bounced off the ground.
We'll see
from my vantage point. If we got that replay up again.
We'll slow it down.
Yeah, that definitely bounced on the ground and up and into his hands.
He caught it.
Oh, I definitely would call this an assist, Jeff.
Let's see once here. Hands are under it. Hey.
It's high school football.
They're not getting paid to make the catches. They're just out here having fun. They're high school kids. Good catch. Move the chains. Timeout. 5 seconds left. As you mentioned, though, that play took 5 seconds. So you kind of get an idea of how long this will take.
If they could put this in, though, that could be huge momentum going into the locker room.
Okay, 5 seconds left. Pulling the quarterback, number 11. Airing it out, corner, overthrown, and that
is the half.
I heard the whistle, and let's see once they'll put any more time on. It appears they will not. That concludes the first half. Cavaliers on top of the Polar Bears, 35-7. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll have high school football on NK Telco Sports.
Francis Furniture's large selection of American-made furniture and the buying power of multiple stores gives us all the tools we need to make your furniture selection rewarding.
We carry the latest styles from brands like Serta, Broyhill, and Lazy Boy.
When you come to Francis Furniture, we will guide you through selecting the perfect recliner fitted to you.
I prefer to treat my customers like family, designing the perfect room for them to enjoy for years to come.
Let our years of service make for a superior furniture shopping experience.
Your employees are your most valuable asset. Protect them by stopping copier violence. 4U Office provides a full line of quality printers and copiers that keeps your team working efficiently and safely.
Wegner's IGA have been servicing their communities for more than 90 years, spanning 3 generations. Wegner's founded their business on 2 basic principles: excellent customer service and quality products. Visit all our locations and experience the finest selection of deli, fresh meats, and a variety of beverage choices. While there, don't forget to check out our vast selection of fresh coffee beans, produce, dairy, and bakery items. Visit Wegner's today in Minster, Fort Laramie, and now New Bremen.
Get up to a $100 credit when you sign up for NK Telco Switch and Save. With over 215 channels on demand, watch TV everywhere and whole home DVR, plus 15 meg high-speed internet and unlimited local and nationwide long distance, all for one amazing low price. Call today.
Welcome back to Lehman High School. Again, a special evening tonight, the first ever game here at Lehman High School. Also the first matchup ever against Hardin Northern, and also in tonight's homecoming festivities, the king and queen announced this year were King Stephen Monin and the Queen Marianne Hissong. And congratulations to both those young students here at Lehman Catholic. Marianne, member. Preston Ribley, your injured polar bear, he walks off the field there. He took a big hit on that return, a clean block by the Cavaliers, and hopefully Preston can walk that one off and recover. Right now it's Cavalier football. I'd like to remind everyone that our sponsors tonight are Wegner's IGA, 4U Office Supplies, Francis Furniture, Swidman Pharmacy, Minster Dental, Minster Bank, New Knoxville Supply. Our scoreboard sponsor, First National Bank, Think First, and our replay sponsor this evening, as you take a look right there.
Sam Young.
Clean hit, and Preston Ribley, the recipient of that big block, is City Body Car Store. They're your sponsor. A fine thank you to those sponsors. Allow us to bring you this, and tonight's high school football. And a big run.
Right up the middle, and that's going to be gone. Number 34. No, down to the 11.
Down to 11. A nice run again. Jacob Earhart has had some monster runs tonight. Good job by his offensive line, giving him some room to run, and Earhart just exploding through the gap. And a strong run. And take another look out here. Really untouched. Maybe a hand tap there, and just good blocking and good pursuit, though, by the Polar Bears, not giving up.
Gearhart, with a 54-yard run, that's the second 54-yard run that they've given up, and they're right up the middle.
And there's a fumble. He's either down, I believe the whistle blew, so Earhart gets him down there, and then I believe it was Monin to the 4-yard line. So again, Lehman now will go in their fast-paced offense. Monin took it down there, down by contact, and Coach Roll's team knocking on the door. This will put them up, if they can get a touchdown here, 42-7, and that would be the running clock then until it gets under that. Nice touch pass. He catch that one-handed.
Calling him out of bounds.
Out of bounds. Odell Beckham Jr. action there, but unable to get his feet in bounds. And good attempt there. Good try by Brandon Barhorst. Take another look at here and watch the touch pass and see once if Barhorst can. I'm not sure, obviously, what all happened over there, but out of bounds.
He definitely didn't look happy about it. Now it looks like we've got a penalty.
So that will move the ball back outside the 20-yard line.
So they're going to call a hold.
So it'll be Cavalier ball back a little bit farther now, outside the red zone. I want to also remind everyone that Matt and I will pick up player of the game tonight from Lehman Catholic. That award is sponsored by Subway, located in Anna, Botkin's, and here in the Sydney Walmart.
Coming across the middle
Good
again as the
stiff arm.
quarterback.
Monin, the king tonight in the homecoming ceremony. uses his force a little bit to, again, get inside, good yardage down to the 8-yard line. Marianne Hissong, reminder, the queen tonight.
It's now 2nd down.
And they also honored the first ever queen here at Lehman, and that was Pamela Johnson, the class of 71. And again, the first king ever crowned was Matt Grover in 99. Pass catch and stretching over and in. Touchdown, Cavaliers.
Did not get a number on that.
We will take another look here. Possibly we have the point after touchdown coming up. Cavaliers offense moving down the field again, and can this time getting the ball across on the pass, and they will try for the point after. And again, this will be 6 out of 6 for Ian Smith. We'll take another look at the scoring touchdown play after this point after. And it is good. We'll take another look here. Pass from Monin. And the reception is made by number 20, Dylan Arnold, as he had to do a little bit on his own near the end to get the 6 points, and he does just that. So that opens up the lead here, 42-7. So the Cavaliers will have the running clock working in their favor. That'll make this task for the Polar Bears that much more difficult. And Coach Roll and his squad enjoying homecoming tonight here in front of a nice crowd of alumni and current fans. Coach Roll there, as you see him, also the athletic director, the yellow sweatshirt, the head coach in his 10th season. 7 of 9 previous seasons have earned state playoffs for his team, and 2 of those seasons Lehman made it all the way to the Final Four, the state tournament.
Lehman doing a great job of getting the ball all around the team, too. They got 6 touchdowns now. 4 different players have went across pay dirt. Another thing I'd like to mention, when you've seen the injury out there happen earlier, with the Catholic schools or the Christian schools around here, they all go down in prayer. Even though it was a Hardin Northern player down, the first thing you see is Sidney Lehman take a knee on the film when you're watching it. That's just out of respect to everybody. I mean, they are opponents, but they do look after one another in these Catholic schools or the Christian schools. Just want to mention that.
Smith boots it away.
We're at continuous clock time as well.
Polar Bears will muscle it out near the 35. There's a whistle as forward progress has been stopped. Again tonight, these two teams, what's a little odd, maybe it doesn't really mean anything, but each week these teams have played, one or the other has won or lost. What I mean by that is Lehman started out losing their first 2 weeks. Hardin Northern won their first 2 weeks. Week 3, Lehman won, Hardin Northern lost. Week 4, Lehman lost, Hardin Northern won. Weeks 5 and 6, Lehman won, and Hardin Northern lost. So it's going to be the same thing. One team's going to win tonight, one team's going to lose. It probably really means nothing other than that. I just noticed that as I was looking at their schedules. It's going to have been just a freaky thing, and both teams entered tonight's play in Week 7 at 3-3 overall. As a deep ball goes too deep. More importantly for the Lehman Catholic, they are still trying to vie for that Northwest Central Conference title. They're 2-1. They're going to need some help because they've already played Upper Saddle Valley and lost by 8, 28-20. And looking at the remaining schedule for Lehman, obviously tonight with Hardin Northern, have a big game next week. They travel to Fort Loramie and then come back home to play Ridgemont and also then finish the season against Waynesfield Goshen. So league titles, 1 goal, and also the playoffs, another. Pass goes incomplete, instead of intended for Storm Drum. For Hardin Northern, they have Lehman tonight. They will then face the #1 team in the conference next week. So they have a tough schedule here. Obviously Lehman tonight, a good team, and play the front runners, Upper Saddle Valley. Then they will finish out the season with Perry and then Riverside. So Coach Mike Dennis, his squad is going to finish his season with basically playing 3 of the top, basically 4 teams in the league with Upper, Riverside, and tonight's game against Lehman Catholic. Swing pass over. They were trying to set up a screen and had a number of Lehman Catholic people coming in. The pass just too high and not able to come away with it was Slaughter. That will bring up, I believe,
fourth down.
Fourth down. The clock continues to run.
3 straight pass plays. We're assuming this should be a punt. I mean, I wouldn't think you would want to add to it. At this point, you'll probably see a lot of second stringers coming in, but it looks like they still have their offense out there. No, they're setting up for the punt.
Number 1, Storm Drum, the punter, came into the game with a 42-yard punting average. Put the ball in the air and used the wind to help him down the field.
Getting picked up by number 20, Dylan Arnold. Returns it for about 14 yards out to the 45. So Lehman again in nice field position.
So they'll quickly blow the whistle and then start the play clock as Lehman in control with the 42-7 win.
I could see Lehman running the ball from here on out. Just try to get that clock to run out.
Well, it'll run no matter what. It's a matter of, I guess, maybe even how many support players will come into play. We'll try to get some of those names and numbers. Number 6 on cue, Owen Smith. Okay, take that back.
It'll be Elliot Gallardi.
There is number 6, Owen Smith, with the run. So he's getting a chance tonight to play in front of the home folks.
Gallardi in the quarterback position.
Elliot Gallardi, number 10, freshman quarterback. Also in the backfield with him on the other side is number 20, who's Dylan Arnold, who has been in the contest. So Coach Roll able to roll some players into the game. Pass incomplete. Skips through the intended receiver. The intended receiver there is number 4, Jared Rourke.
You really got to feel good for Sydney at this point. You know, first time they've ever played on the field. So Lehman's sitting here in front of their home team, behind their actual school for the first time in their history, and get to give them a good win, 42-7 right now, possibly put on more points before it's said and done.
Quarterback Gilardi kept it, still running downfield, gets another good block. Nice run by Elliot Gilardi. Nice downfield block. Jared Magato with a downfield block. Take another look at here. Let Matthew walk you through it.
He just came right up the middle in the O gap and then shifted to the right.
Nice keep. It kind of fooled me. Nice job with the play action or the.
And there another one of the offensive linemen deep downfield getting a nice block. This offense just really surprises me, but that goes in with the fact that they're 195 pounds, so they're still getting good distance.
That time the Polar Bears, though, stopped that run by Smith. Good job by the Polar Bears defensive line that time, snuffing out the play, and that will
probably be the last play of this third quarter.
I have one more, just over 30 seconds to go until the end of the third quarter. Offensive unit looking over towards the sidelines is right now a very usually high-paced offense in no hurry. We're down to 17 seconds and counting, and one of the few times we've seen their offense take this much of a break, and they get the signal that they will be able to let the clock run out, and that will end the third 12-minute quarter of action here at Lehman High School. We'll take a break and come back with the final 12 on NK Telco Sports.
At Minster Bank, we understand that life can get hectic. That's why when it comes to your banking, we offer the services that make your life simpler with tools like person-to-person payments, Pop Money, mobile and online banking, and bill pay. But most of all, Minster Bank is a supportive member of your community with personal relationships and customer service that reach outside of our branches. Minster Bank, helping people achieve financial success.
You owe it to yourself twice a year a checkup at Minster Dental Care. Our specialized doctors, Jim Overman, Jim Myring, Sean Sharp, and Philip Slunkowski, are ready to give you the smile you've always dreamed of at any stage of your life. Pediatric, orthodontic, restorative, and cosmetic dentistry are just a few of the services offered. Our latest advancements include CEREC dentistry that allows us to create and deliver a crown in one convenient visit. We're located on State Route 66 in Minster, 419-628-3380 to schedule your appointment today. You owe it to yourself.
Switching ends of the field. Cavaliers now will work towards the east end zone. Second down and 2 lines to gain. Looks like second and 12.
12. Second and 12.
Pass play caught.
I'll take it down to the 11.
Number 40.
That'll bring us up to a 3rd and 2.
Braden Sherman, 6-foot sophomore.
Third and
on the
long
pass
3.
reception.
We'll call it a long 3 on that. 3rd and 3.
It'll be 2 down territory, I would imagine, for the Cavs. Some of the support players now getting some very good minutes here, varsity level. Gilardi, another nice pass and catch. First down and in for the touchdown. Can't see, there he is. Number 20, Dylan Arnold, the reception. Gilardi with the pass.
So it'll be 11-16. Is that Arnold that scored that one?
Yes.
That would be his 2nd touchdown tonight.
And we'll see, I believe we have a right-footed kicker, so that would be a new PAT kicker. We'll get the number on him. Number 17 is Michael Denning. And Denning is good on his point after touchdown. Freshman knots it in as we will take another look here. Nice pass. Wide open and doing the rest of the effort
is Arnold.
So Dylan Arnold, the touchdown, and Cavaliers continue to roll right now. The Polar Bears, as you mentioned, I think fatigue working on them a little bit also, Matt. They've been out there a lot. Their defense has, playing both directions, and Lehman just keeps coming at them a little bit more firepower, a little bit more strength. And that's tough to stop when you're fatigued and kind of wore out. So
yeah, that's definitely the time for Mike Dennis to send in his 2nd string.
You don't probably have much of a 2nd string, hardly, with just the 27 players, but I'm sure he will. A lot of times, though, that means a lot more underclassmen. And
well, when you have that few of players, there's some key players that you might want to keep out at this point. There's no sense in risking an injury. You have no chance of coming back at this point, especially with the running clock. I mean, unless you have a whole wide open offense, I just don't see that happening for them.
Lehman will put the ball into play here with 10:53. So as soon as the whistle blows, again, that clock will be in motion. Lehman sets up their kickoff unit. Again, a lot of newer players in. Sometimes a little bit more confusion on who's where and who's on and who's filling what lane. Seems easy enough until you're out here on Friday night and on cue, you've got to perform. And Lehman Catholic now back, and again, they will boot the ball with the wind to their back, so they will have an advantage here to pinning the Polar Bears deeper. They will kick from the 40. Nice driving kick down and in, an automatic touchback to the 20, and that is where the Polar Bears will start again. And their offense has had difficulty moving the ball tonight, and credit that to the Lehman Catholic defense. And
well, if you got a kicker that can put it in the back of the end zone, especially in high school ball, to give an 80-yard field to the opponent, that can be pretty disheartening for the other team.
Pulling number 11 back on the field, the sophomore quarterback. Also in the backfield with him, I believe, is Stump, number 22. And Pulling will keep this snap, and he will move ahead for a few yards, and that is where 2nd down will happen again for the Polar Bears.
It'd be a 3-yard gain, take it 2nd and 7.
Offensive lineman is anchored by Blake Obenar. Guards Garman and Hipsher, and the tackles Pritchard and Lease. for the Polar Bears as they break huddle. There, a good look at the sophomore quarterback, number 11, Will Poling. Came into the game with 3 touchdown passes through the air.
It's been since 4:34 in the first quarter, or second quarter, since they have scored. So a long drought here for the Polar Bears, looking to try to get something going here.
Be 3rd down and 6, 3rd and 5.
We'll call it 3rd and 5. I really don't think that Lehman would attempt to score again at this point, but inevitably, if it happens, it happens. But
passing into the wind, ball hangs up, open receiver, nice catch. I believe he's out of bounds. Just threw him a bit too much to the sideline, and Logan Lease on a reception, but 1 foot's got to be in, and he had the 1 foot on the wrong side.
Northern coming in to punt.
They will punt into the wind, and Lehman Catholic will get the ball back in very good field position. And
now you mentioned in 13 they didn't have a team. What was the reason behind that?
I think it was just numbers. That would be my guess. I mean, they're only 27 now, so at some point they just probably didn't have enough kids at Hardin Northern and did not field a team that particular season, and then came back in 14 and now this year. And not real sure all the details how that worked, but you know, win a state title in 2004 and then don't have a team in 2013. But you know, things happen in those smaller communities, whether it was maybe, and I'm just speculating, but if you have a business in there and it goes out of town or something, obviously people move on. But not real sure what happened. But right now, Mike Dennis back as head coach, trying to obviously build that program back up. And you know, it wasn't just the state title. They were runners-up in 2002, 12 other playoff appearances, 4 times they made it all the way to state, and you know, just.
Well, they was talking on the Today Show this past week over in New York and California, where like the Division 7s and 6s, a lot of those schools were saying they didn't want to field a team because of the lack of number of players. I said, now, obviously, I've never heard of the Shelby County League, this league, the MAC. You take those smaller schools in this area, they can actually grab a hold of a number 2 or a number 1 and actually just play with them.
Yeah, so it's tough. And I mean, there's other things kids can do these days and other opportunities, but Hardin Northern, you know, trying to bounce back and get back to, let's say, the glory years back when they were competitive. Right now they're 3-3 this season and going to suffer a loss tonight, obviously. But you know, it's one of those things. You take your lumps, and talking to some, as I mentioned, Hardin Northern parents and grandparents before the game, you know, they're hoping that things will get better, and they have some young talent on this team that hopefully will be enough to, you know, earn some more victories. There's a sack for big-time loss of yards, number 22.
Looks like that's going to be about a loss of 8 from where I'm standing.
Andrew Stump getting in there and making a nice defensive play and a tackle for a loss.
Take it 2nd and 18 now.
It's a long way for the Cavaliers now. 2 lines to gain.
They have to get all the way down to the 42 of their side to get a first down.
Shotgun formation still for the Cavs. Doesn't necessarily mean they always throw it, and they're running here.
And that looks like a first down.
Nice run.
Well, we say what he needs to get, and he gets 2 extra yards. So that's a 20-yard gain on the run there by number 13, which would be Mitchell Solomon.
Solomon with the big run. He's a freshman. Mitchell Solomon, 5'10", 150 pounds. Get a good look right there at number 13. Solomon, and that, as you said, Matt, on cue. First down.
Lehman back in their territory on the 40.
Eluding a couple would-be sackers, getting rid of it. Not being complete, but nice play, avoiding the sack. Keep the line of scrimmage, if you will, where it was, and not take negative plays or negative yards. And ball will rest with the nose of it just on the east side of the 40-yard line.
With Gallardi being a freshman quarterback, you really wouldn't think that he would have it instilled in him to be continually looking downfield like that. But that was a nice dump pass just to try to get a gain. Looks like they might have a nice future here at Sidney Lehman.
Gallardi keeps it, runs right up the middle, and he is wrapped up, but not before he gains another 10 yards. So Making the tackle was Nicholas Bain, but not until Gilardi with the 10-yard pickup, and getting a freshman making and getting some nice minutes here. You know, one thing with the running clock, you could say, well, your support players don't get a lot of time, but you know, that's I like the running clock. I think it's just good for both teams and the support players if they have JV teams and such, or freshman games, but you know, they can play in those. But I think it's just good here for everyone with a game over the 30 point. Whether 30's right, I don't know, but you know, whatever that margin is, that you keep it running, just to kind of be respectful for both teams. It's
Yeah, I don't know if we have a replay on that play, but that's the third time in a row now Gilardi's reached his left hand out there and just snagged the ball. The center's not getting it in center, so I wouldn't be surprised one gets past him here shortly. He's just barely getting his hand on the ball. It's coming far to the left of the body.
I'm sure we probably have some newer linemen in.
Again,
that one a little high, and well, and he will be wrapped down for a big loss on a play.
That flag came in late as well. I don't know if
right
that was
back where he got tackled too, isn't it? I'm curious
as to what
that
they called.
was. Yeah, it looked, obviously there was a loose ball. Gilardi runs it down.
I don't know if the defensive player came up and smacked the ball. That'd be an unsportsmanlike. It's the only thing I could see.
Roughing a passer? An illegal forward pass.
Oh, he must have threw the ball back, so intentional grounding. Be an additional 5 yards and loss of down.
So he was down before he threw it then?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that is a big-time negative play, but it remains with Lehman Catholic as number 10.
Technically, if he passed that ball backwards, though, that should be considered a fumble. And there's another high snap that we talked about, or that I was saying, and that's going to be a turnover.
So break for the Polar Bears. Wes Slaughter coming in to pick up the high snap, and the Polar Bears with just 4:16 left will have a chance to put some points on the board. They're deep inside of Lehman Catholic territory, and they will go to work with the clock at 4:16.
So the ball now on the 35. This would be a nice little boost for the freshmen and sophomores that are playing now for the Hardin Northern Polar Bears. You know, let them get a chance to get in there and score.
Poling remains a quarterback, sophomore number 11.
Coming right up the middle.
Big hit.
Gain of 3 before he's taken down by a host of Cavaliers.
So week 7, just about in the books here. Getting just 3 weeks remain in this high school regular season football season, and then it's postseason, and that's what the Cavaliers have their sights set on. They'd like to win the title, but as the Northwest Central Conference, or at least try to share it. They also would like to earn that 8th trip to the playoffs under Coach Richard Roll. And tonight's game, you know, even with the 3 wins that Hardin Northern has, that every team you beat, as long as they win or have some wins, that helps you accumulate the points. And the big one will be that they got against Riverside last week. Riverside already has a number of wins, I think 5. So, you know, those are all the secondary points you like to earn. And, of course, Lehman has to continue to win. They've got a big game against Fort Loramie next week, and they go on the road, so they will leave this, you know, this environment they had tonight where, like I said at the beginning of the game, playing with emotion. If you weren't psyched up as a Lehman Catholic football player tonight, I don't know what other thing you could ask for with the whole town or whole community, if you will, the school system here. All this is for you to be part of this special event, and they performed well, but now, you know, that's this week. 7 days from now, they're going to go to Fort Loramie, and Fort Loramie really doesn't care where you played last week or what stadium you were playing in. Fort Loramie's, you know, trying to get some wins as well. They're battling for that, a league win as well. So it'll be a big game on the road against the Redskins.
I believe it's 4th and 1. It's going to be a counter.
Nice play. Can it get to the
open
corner?
Field.
Nice
ball. So it was 4th and 2, and they got the first down to the 9-yard line.
Owen Bame, a little trickery in the backfield there, a little misdirection, confusion, able to get the corner, get the first down, like Matt said, more importantly, nearly get it to the house.
And they still can get a first down at the 1, but right now we're down to 151 with that clock.
It's almost like the first half. They had some good drives, and they basically ran out of time and had to, didn't turn it over on downs, had just turned it over because the clock ran out. They had to take a pass to the end zone as I believe number 22 had it, so fooled
walked
everyone.
in standing up.
And that is Stump. So number 22, Andrew Stump, in for the score. So good job by the Polar Bears. They earned the second touchdown tonight. You said maybe just something to build upon. And
nice 40-yard drive.
So they will try to tack on the extra point here, and that will be attempted by Storm Drum, number 1.
You had a total of 9 plays there, 40 yards. That's a nice drive to build off of. Granted, you are facing what we would consider to be second string, even though you got 27 players. But
and it's, let's see,
that is no good.
It was no good, just missed the upright as you saw the angle from our back camera, and that will keep them at 13 with just basically one kickoff left, and Lehman Catholic then will take the knee, and that will be it.
I'm not sure why they had the clock running on the extra point. That's normally doesn't happen, but should have 1:25 left on the clock, but we'll do the 45.5. Not like that many points is going to be scored.
I'm fine with it. So you take a good look there at the Polar Bears under head coach Mike Dennis. Coach Dennis, again, part of that state championship team back in '04. As you take a look at some of the youngsters enjoying tonight's game.
Definitely nice Ohio weather, down to about 50 degrees out here, so cool October night in the state of Ohio. Where should you be on a Friday night? Find your local football field.
Didn't rain tonight. That was a blessing. That earlier week possibility of having some rain showers. Really just the breeze we talked about tonight, coming out of the west and blowing straight across this football field, and didn't seem to. The kicking game, we saw some punts get knocked down, but all in all, a pretty good night, as Matt said, for football. And at the end of this game, we'll be picking a player of the game, and we'll be selecting that award here shortly, and we'll be announcing that as the kick is down the field with the clock running, and Lehman Catholic will do the right thing, fall on it.
Squib kick.
On the recovery there is Braden Sherman scooping it up, and this will be the last. Even if we have to have a snap here, we'll see once. 26 seconds. The play clock's 25, I believe. So
yeah, they'll have to do at least one snap here to start the clock. They can't start it until the ball snapped.
They'll start it right now on the whistle. There it goes. So Lehman will take the final snap and move to 4-3 on the regular season. They will even or go ahead, and the league record will go to 3-1. There is a final play of the game, and that will do it here. The Cavaliers of Lehman victorious tonight, 49-13. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll wrap things up here from Lehman High School. You're watching high school football on NK Telco Sports.
Schwiedemann Pharmacies began serving the people of Auglaize County in 1916 when Urban Schwiedemann purchased the building and business from J.H. Hoffman. The New Bremen location is one of the longest-running pharmacies in the country, with over 110 years of serving its patrons. Since then, 4 more stores have been added: Coldwater, St. Mary's, Minster, and Wapakoneta to round out the group. Our services include prescription refills, home medical equipment, nursing home services, customized compounded medication, vaccinations, and so much more.
Francis Furniture's large selection of American-made furniture and the buying power of multiple stores gives us all the tools we need to make your furniture selection rewarding.
We carry the latest styles from brands like Serta, Broyhill, and Lazy Boy.
When you come to Francis Furniture, we will guide you through selecting the perfect recliner fitted to you.
I prefer to treat my customers like family, designing the perfect room for them to enjoy for years to come.
Let our years of service make for a superior furniture shopping experience.
Your employees are your most valuable asset. Protect them by stopping copier violence. 4U Office provides a full line of quality printers and copiers that keeps your team working efficiently and safely.
Wegner's IGA have been servicing their communities for more than 90 years, spanning 3 generations. Wegner's founded their business on 2 basic principles: excellent customer service and quality products. Visit all our locations and experience the finest selection of deli, fresh meats, and a variety of beverage choices. While there, don't forget to check out our vast selection of fresh coffee beans, produce, dairy, and bakery items. Visit Wegner's today in Minster, Fort Laramie, and now New Bremen.
Welcome back to Lehman High School. Coach Richard Roll and his squad, an impressive win tonight, 49-13 over the visiting Hardin Northern Polar Bears. And Matt, the Cavaliers really didn't do a whole lot wrong. Had a couple turnovers, but boy, when they had the ball, they took care of business.
They definitely had business at hand. They had a 63-yard drive, a 44-yard drive, a 68-yard drive, an 80-yard drive, a 22-yard drive, a 42-yard drive, and another 80-yard drive. So, I mean, they definitely took care of the ball. Well over 400 yards for the game as an offense. Phenomenal job. 49-13 is the score. Not to take anything away from Hardin Northern, they did have 2 good drives, one for 40 yards, the other one for 34, but they just couldn't get it all to go at the same time.
Yeah, not enough consecutive good plays. And you think about, they lost that possession at the end of the half where they had a chance to score and just ran out of time. So, you know, the Polar Bears gave it a good effort. Just too much tonight, Lehman Catholic football. And you think of all the festivities around here, you had to worry, maybe Coach Roll thinking, I hope my players don't get a big super head. I mean, there's a lot going on, and he's even said his job is to come out here and play football. And the guys did it tonight. They came out and performed to mix all of the emotion, all the energy that the stadium had tonight, and they did a nice job. So congratulations to the Cavaliers.
And with Ohio Northern on that, when you come to a place where they've never played, nobody's ever played, and so all the momentum and the whole crowd is on that home team, it does make for a great difference.
It was a 12th man difference tonight, you know, being on the road and being away and having a good turnout in an unfamiliar environment. So, yeah, good. They had a tough battle ahead of them, and tonight just came up on the short end, did the Hardin Northern Polar Bears. Before we go, we'd like to introduce our player of the game tonight for the Lehman Catholic Cavaliers, and that award being sponsored by Subway out of Anna, Bykins, and also the Sydney Walmart. And that award tonight, Matt, goes to?
It'll be going to Stephen Monin, the quarterback. He did account for 4 of the scores. He had 2 running and then 2 on passing. One of those receptions was to Arnold. The other one was over to Brandon Barhorst. So nice all-around play by Monin.
Stephen Monin not only on the field tonight doing well, but also before the game, he was selected as the homecoming king. So another honor for King Monin, if you will, and his queen tonight is Marianne Hissong. Congratulations to those 2 seniors here at Lehman Catholic High School, and congratulations again to Stephen Monin for being a player of the game, brought to you by Subway. That will wrap things up here from Lehman Catholic High School. I'd like to thank our camera crew. On the field, we had Janelle Bullheimer and Kurt Kuffner. Our man up in the bucket tonight, up in the air, Daniel Allen. Fine job around there for those people. And our production crew, John Qualhorse, Isaac Sell, and my partner tonight, Matt Everidge. I'm Jeff Henshin. We hope that you enjoyed this telecast of high school football brought to you by NK Telco Sports. Thanks for watching.